Hello, welcome. My name's Kristi. In today's video, we're going to be doing a low carb, keto, and diabetic friendly meal prep. Now, let me give this little disclaimer. My meal prep videos aren't 5-course meals. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I also work from home, so all I need are basically staples to get me through. A couple of main courses, maybe a side dish here or there, but always dessert. So I'm not going to be doing these little individual meals for everyone in the family so that they can just reheat and eat. We're talking soups, we're talking fat bombs, things like that, so that I can piece together a meal really quickly when we need it. Meal prepping is something I did a lot of at the very beginning of my keto journey, and then I sort of stopped doing it. Recently, it has become more important for me to do this so that I can stick to a plan, and I always have things right here on hand since I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. So if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when I upload, you'll know. Follow me over on Instagram. My name will be right here. And I will have the Facebook group, All Things Keto with Kristi, linked in that description box. Also linked in that description box will be any videos or products that I mentioned, and I have lots of discounts down there so that I can save you some money on some of your favorite keto items. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. I'm going to attempt the protein bread that Maria Emmerich came up with. There are so many variations out. I'm going to be using the KitchenAid. I think I've used this once in the last 5 years that we've had it. This thing terrifies me. I am so intimidated. And I'm also intimidated by this bread. So it could be a total fail, but you're going to come along this journey with me. I'm going to be putting in my water first. That's going to be 1.5 cups. Then I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of the egg white protein powder. Nothing else is added into this one. I pick it up off of Amazon. I'll have it linked below for you. 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of allulose. Now we're supposed to let this mix for about 5 minutes till it whips up. Basically, it's supposed to fill this entire bowl, but you want to start it out on slow and work your way up. Wish me luck. Five minutes. These egg whites got huge. I'm going to transfer this over to my loaf pan. This is one of the larger ones, and it is going to be lined with parchment paper. It fills it up completely. This is going into a 325-degree oven for 30 minutes. Took it out of the oven exactly at 30 minutes. This thing is massive. I'm gonna let it sit here on the wire rack while it's in the pan and let it cool for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then I'll go ahead and take it out, remove the parchment paper, and let it completely cool before I slice it. I must admit, it smells amazing, and I am quite impressed. And it takes a lot to impress me. Just tasted it. Not a bad consistency. I got it into these long, like cubed pieces, and this isn't a very sharp knife, so it doesn't take a lot, and you can see that it's holding its form really well. Can you see where I'm going with this? You can make French toast sticks. The possibilities here are going to be endless with this, and I like the fact that it's virtually 0 carb bread. Not 0 carb after you subtract fiber. You're using egg whites pretty much and allulose. And look at that texture. I can't wait to try out some recipes with this. Let me know if you have one of your favorites, because I am up for anything when it comes to this bread. I have a feeling I'm going to be making this every single week. Chilies, soups are one of my favorite meal prep options because they reheat so well. This is a low carb recipe that is on my channel. I'll link it up in the cards for you and down in the description box so you can get the full details, and I've even done macros on this one for you. So all you need is your seasonings, of course. You're going to need a pound of ground beef. We're using the lean ground beef. And you're going to need some broth of choice. We're using the beef broth from Walmart's The Great Value brand. And you're going to need a can of diced tomatoes, which I had already opened and stuck in the crock pot so that it could start heating up. I like to go ahead and get my crock pot hot and then add in all of my ingredients. For complete details, go watch that other video, because when you go in the description box, you'll be able to screenshot your ingredients and measurements. Not much detail here, just gonna give you a quick rundown. You're gonna need 1 pound of ground beef, 1 can, which is about 15 ounces of diced tomatoes, and you're gonna want to make sure you read those labels. Get something that doesn't have any added sugars. You're gonna need about 2 cups of your favorite bone broth, chicken, beef, whatever you like. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chili powder of your choice, and then salt and pepper. And then I also like to add a teaspoon of cumin. Now, anything else you want to add to this, remember that is going to change the carb count. But I'm going to add some of the hot jalapeno deli slices that we pick up at Aldi. This is going to have no sugar or anything added to it. It is going to add a little bit to the carb count, but honestly not much. It's going to be like 0 point something, because there is nothing bad in this. If I had fresh jalapenos, I would go ahead and chop those up and put them in, but I don't. Just going to throw all this in my crock pot and let this simmer all day. Brown up my ground beef. If you want to add some of your seasonings to the meat, you can. And I like using my spatula to go ahead and get my ground beef into smaller pieces. I like it tiny, really tiny crumbles. If y'all don't have one of these, you need it. I'll link it below. Add in your fully cooked beef. 2 cups of broth. Yes, this one is a 32 ounce, so I'm only gonna add in half of that, but you could easily double this recipe. Now I'm just gonna add in some of these jalapenos, and now the seasonings. Quick stir, get all that mixed up, and just let this simmer all day long. I like to start it out on high for several hours, and then I'll turn it down to low and just let it cook. I'll start this early in the morning. We may have some of this evening, but if not, I'll just put the lid. This crock pot has the little insert that pops right out, and then I can store the entire thing in the fridge if I want. Now that this has been cooking all day, I wanted to show you what it looked like. So it is ready to be eaten, or go ahead and let it cool and then store it in the refrigerator. Making keto cornbread to go with the chili for the week. It doesn't feel right showing this recipe in a YouTube video because it is not mine. It is from the Southern Keto Cookbook. This is one of my go-tos. I really feel like if you are just starting out on keto, or you've been doing it a while and you don't have this recipe book, you need it. It takes minimal ingredients. One of the main things that I add to this, though, that really gives it that cornbread taste is the O flavorings. They're just concentrated flavors. This one is obviously the cornbread. I pick it up in the large dropper because we use this when I make cornbread, when I make stuffing, when I make keto-friendly cornbread muffins, so many different things. So I like to have this on hand at all times. I love the O flavors. We have a lot of them, and I use them in multiple recipes because they are keto friendly. So I'll link this below if I can find it for you guys. And I'll also see if I can find the cookbook on Amazon, and I'll have that in the description box in case you want to check it out. It's not very expensive. Natasha Newton is going to be the person that wrote this cookbook, and she has some amazing recipes. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. There's what the batter looks like. It looks exactly like cornbread batter. So this goes in the oven at 375 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. And this is what it looks like fresh out of the oven. Now once it cools, I like to store mine in an airtight container in the refrigerator. You can slice this up while it's warm, add butter, add this to soups, chilies. It's a great recipe. I also made some glazed donuts. That recipe is not included because I am still working on perfecting it. We're just about there, so make sure you keep coming back and checking for that one. Hopefully it will be out in the next couple of days. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope everyone's having an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.